I've been waiting to get this one for a while. Here is Counterintelligence, Codename Scarlett, part of the Classified Series, Retro Cardback Edition. The original Series 1 came out in 1982, and an alternate version as part of Series 1.5 came out in 1983. Looking back, I didn't start my collection until Series 2, and she wasn't part of it. I always wanted her as part of my army, but sadly, that was not the case. They did reissue a new version of her in '93 as part of the Ninja Force line, but as we all know, that gimmick was only going so far. Let's get her out of the box and take a look. But first, make sure you like and subscribe. I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball on this one. Opening toys as a child, I would just rip the figure out of the package and I would just end up throwing it away after. As an adult, I've taken more care and time to try to open these packages to not ruin the artwork. However, these cardback editions have always been a pain. I've tried gently pulling them apart, I've tried razor blades along the edges, but inevitably something rips. There's a little flappy piece of plastic here on the bottom, and for some reason it dawned on me just to cut 2 slits in the bottom of the plastic with an X-Acto knife and slide the figure out. That flap can be taped back in place, and the card artwork has not been affected at all, and I can still have the plastic shell on the card back. I feel like this is most likely being done by other collectors, and I'm just coming to the table late. But if you're like me, and you couldn't get these figures out of the package efficiently, this might be a way for you. I also understand this might not work for all packages, but it might be an option. Pulling this figure out of the package, she looks great. She is almost identical to the card artwork. The original figure was as close as they could for the time. For starters, she comes with a rubbery plastic belt and holster for her crossbow bolts. Crossbow bolts. That's a mouthful. There is a hole and peg system on the inside of the belt that keeps it in place. It was a little finicky to get the peg in the hole, but once it's in, it sits nicely. I have some figures that have a belt that's free floating, and I've always found myself having to pull it back down around their waist. This figure comes with double hinged elbow joints, unlike the Baroness. She does not come with the standard ab crunch that the rest of her Joe counterparts come with. She has the same ab crunch as the Baroness, which is kind of a ball and socket joint that does limit her overall movement. She's not a very thick figure, so it was probably impossible to put that mechanism in there. She has a great face sculpt and head swivel, and as you can see, her ponytail is missing, but we'll get to that shortly. She also has double hinged knee joints and that standard issue great foot swivel. This foot position seems a little excessive, but pretty cool that you can make that happen. Both of her thigh holsters do not have a peg system like the belt does. Unfortunately, these are subject to sliding down when moving the figure around. Slightly annoying, but I dealt with it. I just looked back at the Old Man Outback figure, and he does have similar hip holsters. However, he does have a lot of texture and ridges on his pants, which holds them in place. Her legs are very smooth, so there's not much keeping them in place other than tension. I still will never understand why the cardback editions come with a stand, but everything in a box does not. Let's get the accessories out of the package and check them out. She comes with 2 different detachable ponytails. This was unexpected. One is a shorter, tighter ponytail, and the other is a much longer and more dynamically posed version. I think I personally like the longer, more dynamic version, even though I forgot to put it on during the turnarounds. They just pop into the base of her hair with a peg system. She also comes with 2 sets of hands. Her holding hands come on the figure, and then you get a second set of fist hands if you want to have her punch some Cobra faces. We get a sidearm pistol that unfortunately has no place to go, which is kind of sad. The holster on her hip is for her knife. So unfortunately, this figure gets a point off for not having the ability to carry all of her accessories. We also get a really well sculpted backpack, as well as a modern M16 rifle with a removable magazine. We also get a more Joe standard issue laser rifle that we all know and love. Both of these have square trigger guards, which allows you to attach them to the pegs of the backpack, so she doesn't have to carry them if you don't want her to. And last but not least, we have her infamous crossbow, which comes in 2 pieces. This presumably could also be carried on the backpack, but it looks like she's not able to carry all of these accessories unless she's holding a few of them. There's also the matter of the holster on her belt. We get 4 different bolts, each with different heads on them. The holster isn't squared off at the bottom, so they fit weirdly in there. You have to slide them in a certain order to get them to fit and sit flush. They seem a little squished. This is not a great design in my opinion. I think that about covers it. Let's get her on the turntable and take a look and get my final thoughts. This is the 3rd iteration of Scarlett that they have dropped in the Classified line, and by far the best. The others were a Snake Eyes movie variant and also a futuristic looking one, like they did with Roadblock. No thank you. The design is so close to the artwork on this one and what this figure should look like. It hits all the right marks. The posability is great, and she comes with so many accessory options. Slight drawbacks to the ability of carrying all of them, but you can't win them all. I really like this figure, and I think they delivered. This is well worth the pickup if you can get your hands on one. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.